What truly makes a Muslim woman valuable in the sight of Allah? Is it beauty, wealth, popularity, or something far greater? In a world constantly telling women who they should become, how do you remain strong, respected, and faithful without losing your identity? The habits you practice every day quietly shape your character, your future, and your relationship with Allah. In this reminder, you'll discover 5 powerful habits that distinguish a truly wise and high-value Muslim woman. Qualities that inspire respect, strengthen faith, and bring lasting peace. Stay until the end, because one of these habits could transform your life forever. My beloved sisters, and my respected brothers who are listening as well, let us begin by asking an important question. In today's world, what truly makes a woman valuable? If you look around, you will hear many different answers. Some will say it is beauty. Others will say it is wealth, social status, education, popularity, or the number of people who admire her. Every day, society creates new standards and tells women that they must constantly chase them in order to feel worthy. But these standards keep changing. What is praised today may be forgotten tomorrow. If a person's value is built only on the opinions of people, then that value will rise and fall with every trend. Islam offers something far more stable and far more beautiful. A woman's true value is not measured by how loudly the world applauds her. It is measured by the sincerity of her heart, the strength of her faith, the beauty of her character, and her closeness to Allah. These are qualities that never lose their worth, because they are valued by the one whose judgment is perfect. That is why the first habit of a wise and high-value Muslim woman is that she builds her entire life upon her relationship with Allah. She understands that before she is anyone's daughter, wife, mother, sister, friend, or professional, she is first and foremost a servant of Allah. That identity gives her strength because it does not depend on people's approval. It depends on her connection with the one who created her. When that relationship becomes the foundation of her life, everything else begins to find its proper place. She turns to Allah before turning to the world. In moments of happiness, she remembers Him with gratitude. In moments of sadness, she seeks comfort through Him. When faced with difficult decisions, she asks herself not only, what do I want, but also, what will please Allah? That simple question protects her from many regrets. A wise Muslim woman understands that faith is not limited to moments inside a place of worship. Faith appears in the way she speaks to her parents. It appears in the patience she shows toward her family. It appears in the honesty she maintains when no one is watching. It appears in the kindness she offers to strangers, in the dignity she carries herself with, and in the choices she makes every single day. One of the greatest strengths of such a woman is that she does not constantly seek validation from people. Today, many individuals measure their worth by compliments, attention, or approval. If people praise them, they feel valuable. If people criticize them, they begin doubting themselves. But a woman whose heart is connected to Allah understands that the opinions of people will always change. Some will praise you today and criticize you tomorrow. If you build your confidence upon people, your peace will always remain fragile. Instead, she seeks the pleasure of Allah above everything else. This does not mean she becomes careless about others. On the contrary, she treats people with kindness, respect, and compassion. But she never compromises her principles simply to gain acceptance. She knows that true honor comes from obeying Allah, not from following every trend or trying to please every person. Another beautiful quality she develops is sincerity. She does good even when nobody notices. She helps others without expecting recognition. She speaks kindly without waiting for appreciation. She understands that Allah sees every sincere action, even those hidden from the eyes of people. This gives her a quiet confidence. She does not need to announce every act of goodness because she knows who is recording it. Her character becomes one of her greatest treasures. She protects her honesty because trust is difficult to rebuild once it is broken. She guards her modesty because she understands that dignity is far more valuable than temporary attention. She treats others with mercy because she hopes for Allah's mercy upon herself. She forgives when she is able because she knows that carrying hatred only burdens her own heart. This does not mean she is perfect. Every believer makes mistakes. Every one of us has weaknesses. The difference is that a wise Muslim woman does not allow her mistakes to define her. When she falls short, she turns back to Allah with humility. She seeks forgiveness, learns from the experience, and continues moving forward. She knows that growth is a lifelong journey, and she never loses hope in Allah's mercy. She also understands that building a strong relationship with Allah requires consistency rather than perfection. Small acts of worship performed sincerely every day often strengthen the heart more than occasional bursts of enthusiasm followed by neglect. A few sincere moments of remembrance, regular prayer, gratitude during blessings, patience during hardship, and trust during uncertainty slowly transform her character from within. As her relationship with Allah grows stronger, something remarkable happens. The storms of life do not disappear, but they no longer shake her in the same way. She faces challenges with greater patience. She handles success with greater humility. She experiences disappointment without losing hope because she knows her Lord is the best of planners. This inner peace becomes one of the most beautiful signs of a woman whose life is built upon faith. She carries herself with dignity, speaks with kindness, and lives with purpose, because her heart is anchored to something that never changes. The mercy, wisdom, and guidance of Allah. That is the kind of value that no trend can give and no criticism can take away. A woman whose heart belongs to Allah carries a dignity that the world can never give and can never take away. My beloved sisters, once a woman's heart is firmly connected to Allah, that connection naturally begins to shape everything else in her life. Faith is never meant to remain hidden inside the heart alone. It reveals itself through words, choices, relationships, and daily habits. This is why the next quality of a high-value and wise Muslim woman is that she guards her heart, her tongue, and her daily decisions with wisdom. She understands that every choice, no matter how small it may seem, has the power to bring her closer to Allah or pull her further away. One of the greatest signs of wisdom is knowing that not every thought needs to be spoken, and not every argument needs to be won. In today's world, people often feel pressure to react immediately. Social media encourages quick opinions, heated debates, and harsh responses. Many believe that speaking louder means being stronger. But true strength is often found in self-control. A wise Muslim woman does not allow her emotions to control her actions. She understands that anger can destroy relationships in a few moments, while patience can preserve them for years. This does not mean she never feels hurt or disappointed. She is human, just like everyone else. She experiences sadness, frustration, and pain. The difference is that she pauses before reacting. She thinks before speaking. She asks herself whether her words will bring peace or create more harm. The tongue is one of the greatest blessings Allah has given us. Yet it can also become one of the greatest sources of regret. A single sentence spoken carelessly can break someone's heart, damage trust, or create conflict that lasts for years. On the other hand, one kind word can comfort a grieving soul, strengthen a friendship, repair a relationship, or inspire someone to become better. That is why a wise Muslim woman chooses her words carefully. She avoids gossip, because she understands that speaking about others behind their backs does not increase her own worth. She stays away from backbiting because she knows that protecting another person's honor is beloved to Allah. She does not enjoy spreading rumors or listening to conversations that tear others down. Instead, she becomes known as someone whose words heal rather than hurt. People feel safe around her because they know she will not expose their weaknesses or betray their trust. That kind of character is rare, and it is one of the greatest forms of beauty a believer can possess. Another habit that reflects wisdom is being careful about the company she keeps. The people who surround you influence your thoughts, your habits, and even your relationship with Allah. If you constantly spend time with people who encourage negativity, dishonesty, or carelessness toward faith, it becomes much harder to remain strong yourself. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who remind you of Allah, encourage good character, and inspire you to improve, your own faith becomes stronger. A wise Muslim woman chooses friends who help her become a better servant of Allah, not people who encourage her to compromise her values. She understands that true friends do not simply make life enjoyable. They help guide one another toward goodness. They remind each other with kindness, support one another during hardship, celebrate one another's success without jealousy, and sincerely want the best for each other. Another beautiful quality she develops is gratitude. It is easy to be grateful when life is going exactly as planned. Real gratitude appears during difficult moments. Even when life becomes challenging, she searches for reasons to thank Allah. She understands that gratitude does not mean denying pain. It means recognizing that Allah's blessings continue even during hardship. This grateful heart protects her from constant comparison. Today, many people spend their lives comparing themselves with others. They compare their appearance, their homes, their families, their careers, and even their acts of worship. Comparison slowly steals contentment because there will always be someone who appears to have more. A wise Muslim woman refuses to let comparison control her heart. She celebrates the blessings Allah has given others while remaining thankful for what Allah has written for her. She trusts that every person has a different journey, different tests, and different blessings. Instead of asking, "Why do they have more?" she asks, "How can I make the best use of what Allah has already entrusted to me?" She also protects her dignity by knowing her own worth. She does not chase attention to feel valuable because her value comes from Allah, not from people's compliments. She does not lower her standards simply to fit in. She understands that respect is earned through character, integrity, and consistency, not through seeking approval from everyone around her. This wisdom gives her emotional balance. She is not easily shaken by praise because she knows praise can disappear. She is not crushed by criticism because she knows only Allah's judgment truly matters. She accepts sincere advice with humility, learns from her mistakes, and continues growing without allowing the opinions of others to define her identity. When a woman's heart is protected, her words become gentle. When her words are gentle, her relationships become stronger. When her relationships are stronger, her home becomes more peaceful. And when peace fills her home, its impact reaches her children, her family, her community, and everyone whose life she touches. That is how wisdom spreads. It begins with one heart that chooses faith over ego, kindness over harshness, patience over anger, and gratitude over complaint. So guard your heart carefully. Protect your tongue wisely. Choose your companions thoughtfully. Every decision you make is quietly shaping the woman you are becoming, and every sincere effort to please Allah is never wasted. A wise Muslim woman protects her heart so that her words, her character, and her life become a source of peace for everyone around her, my beloved sisters. As we come toward the end of this reminder, let us reflect on one final habit that brings together everything we have discussed. A high-value and wise Muslim woman does not live only for herself. She leaves behind a legacy of goodness through beneficial knowledge, sincere service, and a positive influence on everyone around her. Her success is not measured by how many people know her name, but by how many lives become better because Allah allowed them to cross her path. The world often teaches us to ask, "What can I gain?" But faith teaches us to ask, "What can I give?" That simple shift changes the entire direction of a person's life. A woman whose heart is connected to Allah naturally becomes a source of benefit. She understands that every day is an opportunity to earn Allah's pleasure by serving others with sincerity, compassion, and wisdom. This service does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes people imagine that making a difference means doing something extraordinary. In reality, many of the greatest acts of goodness are found in ordinary moments. A kind word to someone who feels forgotten, a patient conversation with a struggling family member, a sincere prayer for another person, helping a neighbor without expecting anything in return. smiling at someone who is carrying unseen pain, listening with compassion instead of rushing to judge. These small acts may seem insignificant to people, but they are never insignificant to Allah. A wise Muslim woman understands that every opportunity to benefit another person is a gift from Allah. She does not wait until she has everything before she begins giving. She gives from what she has today. If she has knowledge, she shares it with humility. If she has wealth, she spends it with generosity. If she has time, she offers it to those in need. If she has experience, she uses it to guide others with kindness. Every blessing becomes a trust, and she asks herself how she can use that trust in a way that pleases Allah. Another beautiful habit she develops is the love of learning. A wise woman never believes she knows enough. She remains a student throughout her life. She seeks knowledge that strengthens her faith, improves her character, and helps her become a better daughter, wife, mother, sister, friend, and member of her community. She understands that learning is not only about collecting information. True knowledge changes behavior. It softens the heart, increases humility, and inspires action. The more she learns, the more she realizes how much there is still to learn. This protects her from arrogance. Instead of looking down upon others, she approaches people with mercy and understanding. She teaches gently, advises kindly, and corrects others with wisdom rather than harshness. She remembers that every person is on their own journey toward Allah, and encouragement often reaches hearts more effectively than criticism. One of the greatest forms of influence she has is not through her words, but through her example. Children learn more from what they observe than from what they are told. Family members are inspired by consistent character more than occasional speeches. Friends notice sincerity long before they notice knowledge. When people see honesty, patience, gratitude, modesty, kindness, and trust in Allah reflected in her daily life, those qualities become a silent invitation toward goodness. This is the beauty of leading by example. A woman may never stand before a large audience, yet she can still transform generations through her character. A mother who teaches her children kindness shapes the future. A daughter who honors her parents spreads mercy within her home. A wife who brings patience and understanding into her marriage strengthens her family. A friend who reminds others of Allah with compassion may change someone's life forever. Never underestimate the influence of sincere character. Its effects often continue long after words have been forgotten. At the same time, she remains humble. She never performs good deeds to gain praise or recognition. She knows that sincerity is what gives every action its true value. People may applaud today and forget tomorrow, but Allah never forgets a single act done purely for His sake. This understanding protects her heart from pride. She serves quietly, gives generously, and continues doing good even when no one notices. She also understands that leaving a legacy does not mean becoming famous. It means becoming beneficial. Some of the greatest believers in history are remembered not because they sought attention, but because they sincerely sought the pleasure of Allah. Their kindness, generosity, patience, and wisdom continued benefiting others long after they had left this world. Ask yourself this question. If people remembered you years from now, what would they remember? Would they remember someone who spread peace or someone who spread conflict? Someone who encouraged faith or someone who encouraged distraction? Someone whose words healed hearts or someone whose words caused pain? Every day, through your choices, you are writing that legacy. So make the intention today to become a woman whose presence brings comfort, whose words bring hope, whose actions reflect faith, and whose life points others toward Allah. Continue seeking knowledge. Continue serving with sincerity. Continue showing kindness when it is difficult. Continue being grateful even during hardship. Continue living in a way that leaves behind goodness wherever you go. Remember that success is not measured by how much of the world you gain, but by how much of Allah's pleasure you earn. When your life becomes a source of benefit to others, your influence reaches far beyond what you can see, and your rewards continue long after your time in this world has ended. May Allah make every one of our sisters women of wisdom, sincerity, patience, dignity, and unwavering faith. May He bless them with hearts that remain close to Him, homes filled with peace, and lives that inspire goodness wherever they go. The greatest legacy of a Muslim woman is not what she owns. It is the goodness she leaves behind in the hearts and lives of others. My beloved brothers and sisters, if this reminder benefited your heart, don't let it remain just words you heard today. Turn these habits into daily actions, one step at a time, and strive to become the person Allah loves. True honor is found in faith, beautiful character, wisdom, and sincere devotion to Him. Share this reminder with your mothers, sisters, daughters, wives, and friends so more hearts can benefit. May Allah bless every Muslim woman with strength, modesty, wisdom, patience, and unwavering faith, and make her a source of goodness wherever she goes. Ameen. Until next time, stay steadfast and keep trusting Allah.